The moving truck had barely disappeared down the street when a little girl looked at my forearm, froze, and pointed with wide, innocent eyes. The bright afternoon sun caught the ink on my skin as she tugged at her mother's sleeve and quietly said that I had the same tattoo as her mom. In that single moment, the warmth of the beautiful day seemed to disappear. Her mother turned pale, my heart pounded, and a memory I had buried for years suddenly came rushing back. Before we begin, if you believe kindness and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the Kindness Project. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that remind the world that hope is never truly lost. I had moved into the quiet neighborhood hoping for a fresh start after years of carrying regret that no one could see except me. My name was Rowan, and while most people noticed the faded tattoo of a tiny compass on my forearm, they never knew the promise hidden beneath the ink. It had been a symbol of finding the way home, even after losing everything. I spent my days working remotely, greeting neighbors with polite smiles, and convincing myself that the past belonged where it was. The neighborhood was peaceful, filled with children riding bicycles, elderly couples tending colorful gardens, and the comforting sounds of ordinary life under bright blue skies. The family next door arrived on a cheerful Saturday morning. Their laughter drifted through the air as boxes were carried inside. The little girl introduced herself with fearless curiosity while her mother remained quiet, almost cautious. When the child noticed my tattoo and made her innocent observation, time seemed to stand still. Her mother, whose name was Mira, stared at my arm before quickly guiding her daughter inside with an apologetic smile that failed to hide the shock in her eyes. I stood frozen in my driveway, unable to understand how someone I had never met could possibly share the same deeply personal design. That evening, I found myself replaying the encounter again and again. Sleep refused to come. The compass tattoo had been created years ago by a struggling artist during one of the darkest seasons of my life. It was a custom design, something that should have existed on only one person. The coincidence felt impossible, yet I couldn't bring myself to knock on my neighbor's door. Some questions are frightening because deep down we already fear the answers. Days passed before chance finally brought us together again. During a neighborhood picnic in the park, Mira thanked me for helping her daughter retrieve a kite that had drifted into a tree. Her guarded expression softened just enough for us to have a real conversation. Slowly, the truth unfolded. Years earlier, before either of us knew each other, she had volunteered at a shelter where people came carrying invisible wounds. One elderly woman had shown her a photograph of her late son wearing a compass tattoo, explaining that it represented hope after heartbreak. The story had changed Myra's life during a difficult time, inspiring her to get the same tattoo as a reminder to keep moving forward no matter how painful life became. My chest tightened because the photograph she described was unmistakably mine. The elderly woman had been my mother. After I had left home in anger years before, I had cut off contact, believing I was protecting everyone from my failures. I never knew she had carried my picture everywhere she went, telling strangers about the son she still prayed would come home someday. Tears blurred my vision as guilt crashed over me. My mother had passed away 2 years earlier while I was still too proud and too ashamed to reach out. Instead of judging me, Mira quietly listened as I confessed everything. She didn't excuse my mistakes, but she reminded me that regret should become a bridge to kindness, not a prison. Inspired by her compassion, I contacted my younger sister, whom I hadn't spoken to in nearly a decade. The first conversation was awkward, then emotional, and finally healing. We cried over the years we had lost, but we also laughed about childhood memories that had somehow survived the silence. The little girl who had innocently pointed at my tattoo unknowingly became the reason my family found its way back together. Sometimes the smallest voices carry the greatest miracles. The compass on my arm no longer reminded me only of the road I had abandoned. It became a symbol of the journey back toward forgiveness, family, and the courage to face yesterday without letting it steal tomorrow. If this story touched your heart, please let us know in the comments with the words, "Kindness always finds the way." And if this story reminded you that forgiveness and compassion can heal even the deepest wounds, please like this video, share it with someone who may need hope today, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the Kindness Project. Your support helps these stories reach hearts that may need them the most. Sometimes a simple act of kindness, or even an innocent child's words on a sunny afternoon, can become the beginning of someone's greatest second chance.